What's up, gente? What's up, Raza? Today I want to talk about the country of Mexico. And they're doing something that we here in the United States should be ashamed that, we have not done yet. And that's providing universal health care. Because starting January 1st, 2027, Mexico will launch a unified universal healthcare system, allowing citizens to receive care at any facility, bridging the current fragmented system. And this is important, everybody, because registration starts today, but it won't kick in until 2027 when they get all this together. But it's going to allow them to unify access, phase out implementation, do registration, have digital integration, and this is and to have ongoing support. And this is important because President Claudia Sheinbaum has been taking positions and doing stuff, in the background that people have never even thought about, including bringing about this universal healthcare. I bring this to your attention because, I think it's some good news, some great news. Mexico is a wealthy country if it can get those oligarchs started, those rich people, those billionaires to get out the way. If it can get these countries that keep meddling, including the United States, out of the way, because um, unfortunately, Mexico has been, challenged with everything from social instability, political instability, economic instability, you name it, and it's not their fault. It's not the people's fault, I should say. The case of Mexico involves the wealthy, just like in many places, the elite, where they've organized themselves for years. They took over the country under one party for years, PRI, for example. And then they had one for a candidate from the PAN party. That guy was a clown. So you had these corporate parties take over Mexico and take over their healthcare system and take over what they had started under the original revolution in 1910. Following the revolution of 1910, they did institute a constitution that was progressive, people moving forward. But then, after a few presidents, and I think I would say the last great one was Cardenas. After that, it went downhill. That man was a supporter of Fidel Castro, for example, Cardenas, and he actually went to Cuba and he said Cuba's future is Mexico's future, and he saw Cuba as a role model for what it could do for its people, and he was right because medically, the healthcare system, medically in Cuba is important because I mean it's an advance of beyond what the United States and other countries do, despite the United States choking them economically, preventing medicine from coming in, preventing things even as simple as a cane from getting through without permission, preventing machines and supplies that they need to make this happen in Cuba. The president of Mexico, Cardenas, decades ago, saw this with the Cuban Revolution, and Mexico has been a hub for revolutionaries for action. After all, that is where Che Guevara and Fidel Castro and others plotted to overthrow the corrupt government or dictator, I should say, of Cuba before 1959. So Mexico has been a place for change. Unfortunately, it's been under the control of a lot of the wealthy, the elites, the horrible people who don't care about the poor, only care about themselves and their $20,000 Louis Vuitton bags. And that includes the cartels, by the way. The cartels are no different than the Donald Trumps here in the United States. A lot of them want to live that life, think it's all about the money. They don't care about the people, despite what they do when they start giving out, charity during the holidays. It's a capitalist system, and it's been that way for a long time. Mexico's medical system, if you don't have money, you will die. That's just a fact right now. It's been like that for years. So to hear that Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, is going to make this a change and bring about this change is uplifting, is positive, because a lot of us still have Raza, we have family in Mexico, and not just Mexicanos. We have everybody from Guatemaltecos, Colombianos, Mexicanos, Cubanos, you name it. Even people here in the United States who haven't been there in years have familia there. So just a big shout out to the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, and the party that's trying to do stuff out there. They're not perfect. I'll tell you, be the first one to tell you, but they're trying, especially under the threat of imperial America coming in and doing the foolishness that they done in Iran under this crazy man in the White House, right? You know who we're talking about. despite the threats by the FBI, DA, and the CIA to overthrow their government, destabilize their government. Despite the threats of all this going on, she stayed focused on the people. So I would say for Mexico, let's be patient, Raza. Let's watch what they do, and be prepared to help out, because the truth is they are right there, and a lot of us still have that connection, and it's strong. It's very strong. So with that said, I just want to bring everybody some good news, because with all the bad news happening under the crazy man in the White House, it's time to hear some good news about universal health care coming to Mexico, and something we could use here in the United States of America, where supposedly we are the richest country in the world that can do whatever they want. But when it comes to healthcare, nah, they rather fund missiles and bombs and kill children than provide healthcare for the citizens here. So big props to Mexico. I'm out.